Welcome. I am Reverend Toya Brown coming to you from my very own kitchen for this segment of Spiritual Food for Thought. And today we're going to be talking about the loss of a loved one. In 2021, I lost my own mother, and it afforded me the opportunity to learn and dig in deeper about the process and the thoughts that you can have during that time where you lose a loved one. And I wanted to start first with chapter 3 of Ecclesiastes, and it says, "There is an appointed time for everything, and a time for every affair under the heavens, a time to give birth and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to uproot the plant, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to tear down and a time to build, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance." When you have a person who you love so much, who's close to you, and it's their time to transition, a lot of times we feel like it's a loss for us. But from a spiritual standpoint, God is teaching us that it's merely a transition from this life to the next, and that you will see your loved one again. And one of the things that helped me during the transition of my mother is remembering a lot of the things that she taught me about eternal life and how life continues to go on. That's what it means to have eternal life, is never to die. You can only transition, but you never actually really die. The Bible talks about it being an appointed time for every man. So everyone has a date that you will transition. And when you look at life from that perspective, that everyone at some point is going to transition. No one is going to leave this planet alive, so to speak. And that's the one thing that you have to keep in mind, that it's okay to mourn your loved one's transition. It's okay to feel sorry for their absence in your life, but understand that it's merely a transition to the next step of their life. And we all have an appointed time where we're going to transition to the next step of our life. One of the things that I noticed, and this happened with my grandmother as well as my mother, is when you're open to it, our loved ones will always give you a little sign that they're still there. And there was a particular perfume that my grandmother would wear, and sometimes I would get up in the morning and I could smell the scent of that perfume. There was a particular song that my mother used to always love to sing in church, and I would go into a grocery store or I'll go into the gym and they would be playing that song, and it would tickle me because I'm like, they're playing a church song, in these places. And it was almost like little signs to let me know that yes, I may be absent from my body, but I'm still here. And the scriptures teach us that when you are absent from your body, you are present with the Lord, which lets you know that you don't actually just die and it's over. You're only transitioning to the next step, to the next stage of your life. And that is an encouraging word that helped me as I was going through the process of mourning and grieving my mother and my grandmother. And it just helped kind of bring things into perspective, that they're never really gone. And you can still talk to them just like I'm speaking with you. And just to be able to have that dialogue. They don't have to be present physically for you to still talk to your loved ones, still bless your loved ones, and still have a smile and a laugh. Ecclesiastes says there is a time to mourn. There's a time to be sad. But there's also a time to be glad and a time to laugh. And mourning is going to happen, but just be cognizant that you want it to have an end point to your mourning. It's always going to feel bad, but it's going to get lesser and lesser. The pain of it will lessen as time goes on. And we just don't want you to be stuck in a place where you're in that constant mourning as if they're gone. But you can actually rejoice that they're still alive. They're just not on this plane, but they are still alive and they're still happy and they're not in pain and they're living their next life. And you will do the same when you transition. So hopefully this has been a thought to help you to just go through that process, navigate it a little bit easier, to know that they're always with you. And if you're open, you'll even see some of the signs that they'll give us to let them know that they're still around. If someone in your life is going through the grieving process and they just need to hear an encouraging word, please forward and share this with them. Until the next time, have a wonderful day. God bless you. And remember, the time for change is always now. We'll see you next time on Spiritual Food for Thought.